Hi all. Today we'll study about syntax directed translation. Okay. The syntax directed translation is nothing but this one will come in semantic analysis phase. Okay. So already we studied lexicon analyzer phase, syntax analysis phase. Then third one is semantic analysis phase. So in that phase, this part will come. So how it will come, what all things we have to do it, those all things we'll study now. Okay. So here, so that is for the understanding purpose. So let's take whatever program will be there. Suppose .c file is there. So in this file, whatever source code is there, that source code is the input which will be read by the lexicon analyzer phase. Okay. Then it will be parsed, it will be converted in terms of tokens, and it will be given to the next phase, that is parser or syntax analysis phase. So parser will generate the parse tree. So this is the parse tree is generated. So up to here already we have studied. Now this part is nothing but it will be parse tree. This whatever was created, this will be given to the next phase, that is semantic analysis phase. So in semantic analysis phase, what we have to do is nothing but here whatever we have parse tree. So this parse tree, depending on this input we created, now we have to assign these values to the actual parse tree contents. Okay, so these are all things whatever nodes are there in parse tree, or let's say as a for a grammar whatever symbols are there, those grammar symbols you have to assign the values and you have to evaluate it. Okay, so that purpose this semantic analysis phase will be used. So here, so whatever parse tree is there, for that you should have some property to evaluate it. So that property we are saying as a attribute. Okay, so that's whatever parse tree is there, along with parse tree, so some attributes of each grammar symbol will be there. So that grammar symbols property is we are saying as a attribute. So each grammar symbol has the attributes. It may be one or more than one. Okay, so depending on situation, we'll define one or more than one. However, we'll define it, that will study it. So if you saw here for a t, we have t dot val. Here val is the attribute for t symbol. So here parse if you consider, just we have the grammar as t producing t star f, and we have f producing digit. Okay, so this is the grammar we have. So for that we are getting this input, so you know how to create a parse tree. From this parse tree just we are getting the now some dependency graph or annotated graph, we'll say it, that will get it. Okay, so here next we'll go. So that is nothing but, so here whatever we are saying this property, this we are calling that one as a attribute. So how attribute will be there, what all things it can have it. Okay, so here attribute is nothing but, first of all, this is a property for a each grammar symbol. Okay, so for grammar symbol it will be having some properties. Okay, and so whenever we are writing a production in a grammar, each production has some rule. Okay, so it may have one rule or more than one rule. So whatever rule is there, this one will say it as a semantic rules now. Okay, these are nothing but for each production how to evaluate or how to pass the values from bottom to the top of the symbol, grammar symbol. Okay, so for that purpose we will be using this semantic rules. Now this semantic rule, whatever we are saying, this semantic rule we can write it in two ways. Okay, that is first one is SDD will say, that is syntax directed definition, and second one is translation schemes. So in detail one by one we'll study it. First we'll study about SDD. Okay, here SDD is nothing but this is the syntax directed definition. So whatever we written in parser phase, that is it will be always will be having as a CFG. Okay, from CFG, so each grammar symbol we are giving the attributes and some rules. For each production we are giving the rules. Okay, so attributes for a grammar symbol and rules for a production we are giving it. So in what way it has to be evaluated, or in what way you have to write it, that is specifically or not mentioned here. So that is a normal syntax directed definition how it should be there, and just we are saying it. So each production it should have one production, it should have some rule. Okay, some rule it should have it. Okay, that we are saying it. Okay, so for example, if I have x as a one grammar symbol and a as a one of its attribute. Okay, so a as a one of its attribute. So in parse tree, wherever I will use x, so in place of that x I can write x dot a as a attribute. Suppose if I have two attributes, that is suppose x dot a and x dot b, I have two attributes. Okay, so that time whenever parse tree will come, so in that parse tree wherever x label will be there, in that label I can write these two attributes. Okay, so how we have to write that we'll study in detail. Okay, so before going for that, we'll study just kinds of attributes. That is, there are two different kinds of attributes. So that's depending on how we'll evaluate that attribute value, there are two kinds are there. Okay, for example, suppose I have one parse tree and here one node is there. Okay, that is one grammar symbol is there, consider as a suppose x. Okay, so if I want to, here I have x dot a as a an attribute. Suppose I have to evaluate this value of attribute x dot a, so it may be evaluated based on whatever comes above this or whatever comes below this. Depending on that, we have two categories of attributes. So first one is synthesized and second one is inherited. Here synthesized is nothing but if I have an non-terminal a in a parse tree and I have to evaluate this a's attributes, then I can evaluate values which is depends on its child or itself, will say as a synthesized. So like this we have a parse tree, above this something is there, beside this something is there. If this attribute of this a is evaluated by itself or by its child nodes, then we'll say as a this is a is a synthesized one. Okay, and inherited is nothing but suppose I have one node B, non-terminal node b. Okay, so I have to evaluate attributes of this b based on this value b itself or siblings of this one. Okay, that is maybe here a is there, so by a I can evaluate b or by its parents. Okay, then we'll say as a b as a inherited one. Okay, so whenever we're evaluating any non-terminal attributes value, okay, so that attributes value x, suppose if it is evaluated based on whatever value below is there, that is below nodes are there, so that time we'll say as a it is synthesized. Whenever you are evaluating this non-terminals attribute values from this parents or its siblings or itself, then we'll say as a this is synthesized one. Okay, just we'll take one example. Here we have one grammar, that is s producing e. Okay, then we have grammar e producing e plus t or t. Okay, then t producing t star f or f, then f producing digit. Okay, or id you can say it. So this is the grammar we have. So here each whatever we have productions, these are separated and listed here. Okay, so that's why we have these many productions here. Okay, so each are listed separately, and if you observe here we had actual production as a e producing e plus t, but here we are writing as a just e producing E1 plus T. So why we are differentiating is, so here if I return both side E, in production we don't have any problem, but whenever we have writing a semantic action, so value, which value we have to consider, that will get confused. To differentiate that one, whatever comes before arrow mark left hand side of the production, that we are using directly as a E, and right hand side of the production, whatever it's coming, that is we are using as a E1. Okay, so here we return semantic phase, semantic actions we return. So then if you saw yes, this production, yes producing E, so if you saw the action part, that is semantic rule part, is a thing, but we're just printing the whatever E value is there. Okay, so here, so if you saw, we have the attribute for capital letter E is nothing but E dot val. Val is the attribute used for the E. So like that, if you observed, for all we are using as a val only. So you can use different names, or instead of val you can write just as a v also, no problem. So whichever name you want to give it, you can give it. There is a simple attribute name. Okay, here we are referring as a val. So it is nothing but internally we are saying as a whatever value is there, that you have to take it. So that's why this is a, because this grammar is used for evaluating the arithmetic expression. Okay, so whatever value is there, that we are going to use it. That's why we given here attribute name as a just val. So you can give a also, b also, whatever you want to give, you can give the name. Okay, so here E producing E plus T. For this we have semantic rule is nothing but E dot val, that is left hand side whatever it's there, its attribute is equal to whatever right hand side is there, that attribute value plus T dot value. So addition of these two values will be there for E's value. Okay, so like that we listed here. If you saw here, just difference is whatever digit is there, so for that we are writing as a digit lex val. So this is nothing but whatever user will give in a program value, or it may be a runtime value, so that value directly will be taken by the lexical analyzer and it will be given to the EF non-terminal. Okay, so here this is nothing but from the lexical analyzer, whatever we are going to read it, that actual value will come here. Okay, so parse tree we studied. So parse tree, for that non-terminals will be there, that non-terminals will be having the attributes, those attribute values, whatever will write it in a tree, that entire tree will call it as an annotated parse tree. Okay, this is nothing but it's a simple parse tree along with values of a attributes. Okay, that is nothing but we'll say as a annotated parse tree. So here, how many ways of evaluation of this annotated parse tree will be there? It depending on attribute type, you may have one or more than one ways to evaluate it. Okay, suppose if in a STD, the STD is nothing but we are saying as this entire thing together now. Okay, so entire thing together is my STD, syntax directed definition. Okay, it's the production rule along with corresponding action. So all together we are saying as a STD. So in a STD, if attributes are there of only synthesized type, so we can evaluate by bottom up approach. Okay, if in a STD we have both combinations, that is inherited also, synthesized also, so that time it may have one combination or more than one combination of evaluation. Okay, depending on that STD it will vary it. So if you here, if you saw, is it a all attributes of the synthesized one or inherited attributes are there? So here one by one we'll check it. So here E, whatever is there, this E is evaluated by E1 and T. That is, if you draw the parse tree, what will happen? This the head, whatever is there, depends on whatever bottom of nodes are coming, it depends on that. So this is synthesized. Okay, so here E is depends on T. Okay, so E is dependent on T, so this is called as a synthesized one. So in this production, if you saw T, whatever left hand side is there, this T is depends on T1 value into F value, so this is again synthesized one. So here all these are synthesized one, we don't have inherited one. We'll check it one more grammar, in that inherited also there. Okay, so we'll write the just annotated parse tree first. Okay, so here this is the grammar. Center thing is our grammar. Each production has semantic actions or semantic rules, and suppose I have as an input from the lexical analyzer, that is 4 into 5 plus 6. So for this grammar we know how to write the parse tree. Okay, so this parse tree will come. Okay, so that is without any attributes. Okay, that is without that value or without this 20 or 5, these things we know how to write the parse tree. So this parse tree will write it first, and corresponding attributes will list it beside that only. So here if so all has one attributes only. Okay, so wherever we have, so everywhere just we are writing one attributes. Okay, so these all we are writing as a one attributes. Then just we are calculating it. So how here if we are calculating as 20, and here we are getting as a value as a 26. So how we got this one, this that will study it later. Okay, that is nothing but one more thing we have to study it for that. So this whatever values will write it, and corresponding attributes will list it, all attributes will list it in a parse tree is nothing but our, this is annotated parse tree. Okay, so now we'll see how to evaluate that one. That is nothing but how to get this value as a 20 only or 26 only. It depends on the attribute order or evaluation method, depending on these things. Now this looks very easy, that we have 4 into 5, so directly we are getting 20. But whenever expressions are more, that is symbols are more, that time it will get confused. So just we'll say how to evaluate it. So for the evaluation purpose we'll use one tool, that is we'll call it as a dependency graph. Okay, that graph is nothing but, so in which order and how you have to evaluate it. So if you saw here, these things has to come first. Okay, so that is from the lexical analyzer only you have to get the values 4, 5, 6, then only we can do it. So among these which one has to come, for 6, 5 and 4, which one has to come first? There is nothing but always it will come as a 4 first. That is we are reading 4, then multiplication operator, then 5, then plus operator, then 6 in a lexical phase. That is nothing but we are reading as a these things as a tokens, and we are passing it. So here again it will come as a, here order of this one will be, this is first, then second, then third. So how we have to evaluate it, so that will check it. Okay, so for whatever evaluation order is there, for that we'll say as a dependency graph. Okay, now we'll see the dependency graph. So instead of taking this grammar only, I will take one more new grammar, that is which should have synthesized and inherited values also, both values. Okay, so here just I will take it. So this is my new grammar. Okay, that is t producing f t dash, t dash producing star f t1 dash. Okay, then why t1 we given is nothing but both side actual t only, to make a difference in semantic phase we are mentioning as a t1 here. Okay, then t1 producing epsilon naught, f producing digit. Okay, so here if you saw, so this one production has two rules now. Okay, so that is two different semantic rules are there. So first one is for t dash is there, so for this t dash we have some value. Okay, so there is some attribute first, then we have value for that, that is t dash dot inh, that is inherited. We're saying it's a inherited one. You can give different name also, you can give just t dash dot I also, no problem. Okay, so here you can give, let's say, any name for these attributes. So here we are following just as a t dash dot inherited. Okay, it will be very easy to identify it's inherited or synthesized one. That's why we will directly given as a, it's a inherited one. Okay, so that is t dash dot inh. Okay, so equal to f dot val. So whatever f value is there, that will be given to the t dash dot inh attribute. Okay, then t val. So it's nothing but here for t we have one attribute, that is t val equal to t synthesizer. Okay, So if you saw T dash synthesize, if you saw T dash has inherited also, T dash has synthesize also. So now it means here this grammar symbol, that is non-terminal, has two attributes, that is T dash has two attributes, that is T dash dot inh and T dash dot synthesize. Totally it has two attributes. Okay, then next one, T dash producing star f T1 dash. Okay, here it has T1 dash dot inherited equal to T dash inherited. So this values inherited is depends on this value is inherited, okay, into f dot val. Okay, so like this given some semantic rules. Okay, so how to evaluate that one, how to calculate that one, okay, that will check it. Okay, so here first just we'll write, we'll take one example, that is suppose input is coming as a 3 into 5. Okay, so for that this is the our parse tree. Okay, parse tree is nothing but here if you saw starting with t you have, so and our input is 3 into 5. Okay, so it's this production compulsory we required, and 3 and 5 to read this one we require this one. Okay, so here we have t producing ft, then t dash producing star ft dash, then f producing digit here also, then t dash producing epsilon naught. We'll use this thing. Okay, so this is our parse tree. Here if we given 3 value, okay, then here this star is there, then for this one if I given 5, so it serves our purpose, that is 3 into 5 value will get it properly. Okay, now just we'll see how to write the annotated parse tree for this one. So whatever is there for this, we'll write the attributes and corresponding values. Okay, so here just first we will write the attributes, that is val. Okay, digit will be having the from the lexical analyzer whatever it will read it. So dot lex val, and if you already observed here we have for t dash two attributes, so we'll list both the attributes here also, so both side will write the two attributes. So each attribute will be having different value. Okay, here 3, maybe here 5, 15, so here are 15, both we are getting same here. Okay, so how to evaluate this one, that will study it. Okay, so that is okay, so here whatever how to evaluate, that will call it as a dependency graph. So whatever in this one we written in terms in red color, that is my actual dependency graph, only red color I am saying. Okay, so whatever it's there is the order whatever we written, that is a dependency graph. Okay, so here if you observe first one 3 we required, then 5 we required, so whenever it will come first digit will be read. Okay, so that is from the lexical analyzer digit will be read, so this is the first thing it will read it. So along with this one whatever lexical analyzer values we have to take it, that we will take it. So here this will be read. Okay, that is 5 we are reading it, so that is the second one here. Okay, so this is the second part. Then so whatever we got it here, so that you have to pass it above, that is for a non-terminal. Okay, so one by one values attribute values will check it, then we'll keep on calculating it. Okay, so here first 3 came, then we have to pass it to the next one, so that is nothing but f. So if you saw here this production is f producing digit, so f producing digit, so this production we have one attribute, that is f val. What is f val? Whatever lexical analyzer we got it, directly we have to give it, so directly we will give whatever value is there, that is 3 we are giving here. Okay, so that is, so whatever first this came, then just you are passing it here. Same thing here also, that is this side, so whatever value came, just you are passing it. So this is the first step, this is the second step, lexical analyzer will take it, just you are passing here also, just you are passing here also. Now we have to check which one I can evaluate, that is here also some attributes are there, here also there, here also some are there. Okay, so which one I can evaluate it? Okay, so here just we'll check for this node. So this node has t dot val. Okay, so that is nothing but it's producing t producing f t dash. Okay, so I will check this one, t producing f t dash. So it has t dash dot init. So t dash dot inheritant equal to f val. So here if I saw, so it has t dash production rule, then t val rule. Okay, initially we will be having only, that is values from first this one, second this one, then from here to here we transferred, then we transferred to next one, that is second to fourth one, that is here to here, this is fourth one. Okay, this one we have. So after this we don't have anything, so just one by one we have to check it how to calculate it. So here what we are doing is, so now we'll check, can I calculate t dot value? Okay, if you saw here, t dot value producing is nothing but it's a production for t producing f, t producing f t dash. Okay, so there we have two productions, two semantic rules, t dash dot inherit equal to f dot val, that is here t dash dot inherit equal to f val. So f value is nothing but whatever we have here, so this value we can give it to here, that is nothing but here t dash dot inherit is nothing but it's calculating the value from the its sibling. So here this value we can give it. So now here t dash dot inherit value will become as a 3. Okay, so this value it will become as a 3. Now one more we have there only, one more rule you have, t dot value equal to t dash synthesize, t dot value equal to t dash synthesize, but we don't have t dash synthesize value still. Okay, so we have to wait for that. So now we will check it, t dash dot synthesize, can we calculate or not? Okay, so that is nothing but, so here this production will take, that is t producing star f t dash. Okay, so t dash is producing star f t dash, here t1 dash. Okay, so whatever is there, that one. So here in this production again we have two semantic rules, that is t1 dot synthesize equal to t dash t dash synthesize equal to t1 dot synthesize, and t1 dot inherited equal to t dot inherited value into f value. Okay, so that is nothing but here f value we have, t dash inherited value we have. Okay, so t1 dash inherited we can calculate it, so that is nothing but t1 dash dot inherited value equal to f value into t dash inherited value, so both will multiply it, that is we will get as a 15. So at this stage we will get here, this is 15. Okay, so now again here if you saw this one, what calculate, that is t dash synthesize equal to t1 dash synthesize. Okay, that is here we got 15, so it will, next we can calculate this one. Okay, so next after that we can calculate here again same thing, so then we can calculate this one. This is nothing but here we are saying this order, so that is first from the lexical analyzer we'll get it first and second, just give it to the f value, then here t dash the inherited attribute will be calculated first, then here t dash inherited attribute will be calculated, then here only t dash synthesize value will be calculated. So that's why we have 6 to 7 in this graph, only we have 6 to 7 on arrow mark, then this synthesize value will be passed to the t dash synthesize value, so that is 8th one. So now t dash synthesize value will be given to t val, so that is 9th one. So here that is t dash synthesize value will be given to the t value. Okay, so this is whatever red color we return, this is nothing but dependency graph. So like this we can write first grammar will be there. For each production you will be having semantic rules. Okay, then these semantic rules can be used to write a annotated parse tree. That is, parse tree will write it along with attribute and corresponding values. Okay, so this parse tree you may have more than one way of evaluation. So to evaluate that one, we are using the just dependency graph. So whatever graph we are writing, this is a dependency graph, we'll say it. So